We are on lesson 28 in our Bible. This is Monday. God speaks to Samuel. So last week we talked about Hannah. And remember that Hannah kept her promise to give Samuel back to God. And we talked about last week that God answers our prayers and that everything belongs to God. And she gave Samuel back to God because Samuel always belonged to God. Hannah took him to live in the house of the Lord, and Hannah knew that Eli, the priest, would take good care of Samuel. And that's where our story is going to start today. One evening, little Samuel had gone to bed, and just before he was ready to fall asleep, something very unusual happened. He heard a voice calling, "Samuel?" Samuel sat up in bed and looked all around, but there was no one there. So Samuel jumped out of bed and ran to Eli, saying, Here am I." Little Samuel asked Eli why he had called him, but Eli was surprised to see Samuel standing by his bed. He told Samuel that he did not call him. "Go back to bed," said Eli. "I did not call you." So Samuel went back to bed, and again he was just about to sleep when he heard someone calling, "Samuel! Samuel!" Samuel jumped out of bed for the second time, and again he saw no one, and again he ran to Eli. Here I am." "You did call me," said Samuel. But Eli answered once again, "No, I did not call you. Now go back to bed and go to sleep." So Samuel went back to bed once again, and he did not know what to think because he was sure he had heard a voice calling his name. And in a short while, he heard someone calling his name a third time, "Samuel." And when Samuel got out of bed this time and went to Eli, he asked Eli, "Are you sure you did not call me? I know someone has been calling me." Now Eli began to understand. Eli told Samuel that it was God. It was God who was calling him. So God wanted to talk to Samuel. Then Eli told Samuel to go back to his bed and listen once again for the Lord. But he said when God called him this time, he should stay there and listen to what the Lord has to say to him. And so that is what Samuel did. Samuel went back to bed and waited very patiently, very quietly. And in a short time, he heard a voice call, "Samuel, Samuel." And this time Samuel answered, "Speak, Lord, because your servant is listening." Then God told Samuel that he would always be with him. Samuel was to serve God always and to show others to love and obey God. Samuel was happy to know that God loved him so much and wanted Samuel to serve him. God kept his promise to Samuel, and he never left him and helped him to become a godly man. When Samuel grew up, God gave him to be in charge over the temple and over the temple of the Lord, over the place where Eli was. Then everyone came to Samuel to learn more about how to love God and to obey God. So boys and girls, we must learn that it is best to decide to love and to obey God all the days of our lives. God has many special gifts and promises for those who decide to do this, especially when we are young. God will bless them for their whole lives. Today in our workbook, God speaks to Samuel. You will begin with the letter S. So the S is circled, and then it's a pattern. A pattern repeats, repeats, repeats. A pattern repeats, repeats, repeats. A pattern repeats. That's right. So you'll begin with the S. Don't circle the next one, but you'll do every other. So not L, but circle P. Not O, but circle E. So you'll circle every other letter going around the circle. Then look at all the letters that you circled. Write the circled letters in the correct order to learn how Samuel answered God in 1 Samuel 3:10. From our story, do you remember what Samuel said? "Speak, Lord, for I am listening." And see what your message is today. as you finish that. So you'll just do this side and upload a picture of that for me today. I also have another video for you to watch today of the story of Samuel.